guys, Broderick back at it, TCG Buzz, with an updated Mystic Knight deck profile. Remember, if you guys want to see continuous update today with Mystic Knights, please make sure to comment below and hit that like button. Without further ado, let's get right into the updated deck profile. Alright, so first of all, we are playing 3 of the new Flaming Prison Sink. So this card is essentially the new mechanic is to counter call on top of your Mystic Knights to get in the Soul Guard. What this sync does is just like every other sync, gives 3k every time a fire attribute spell is activated. And then if you activate a fire attribute spell during the battle phase, burn 1, heal 1. Really good with counterattack. To pair along with our friend, we have chosen to play 3 of the older sync, the Bewitching Crimson sync. Again, 3k. Gives penetrate, double attack, penetrate, damage can't be reduced, and additional crit to all your Mystic Knights with base power or higher. Also, very good artwork. Love that. And to finally run up our sync package, we are running 2 of the Magic Singer sync. With the new support that we've gotten with all the searchability that the deck has, we really don't need access to more than 8 syncs. Obviously, this whole build is going to change once the new Wizard Apprentice sync comes out. It's going to change the deck a lot. But I think the smaller amounts with the ability to search is a lot better than having not access to them at all. Alright, so we're going to keep them low. That just rounds up our sync package. So to back him up, we are obviously playing our Buddy is our Asagi. We're only playing her at 3. And to pair with her, we are playing the one new Asagi. So essentially, the new Asagi is, again, counter call on top of a Mystic Knight monster. She's one of the newer ones. But whenever she attacks, charge, gain a life, draw a card. So she's just like Asagi, except not a once per turn. So we'll keep it like that. Obviously, then we are playing 3 Knight protection against card effects and abilities can't be nullified, which is really strong. And being able to give an additional crit to all Mystic Knights is really strong, including himself. So always keep him at 3 or higher. And lastly, we're playing the one tech choice, the 4th Omni, Burn Lord Breby. So what this is meant to do is Mystic Knights, since we don't have access to our set spell right now, we're really weak to resting. So this card literally says, whenever counter call, discard your entire hand its cost, pay 3 gauge. If you do, your cards can't be rested for the duration of the turn, and then you have a penetrate triple attack boy with 1900 attack. So he turns into a big swole boy. And that's what you want him for. So he works really well with the deck. Awesome. Now we'll go ahead and start off with the spell lineup. Alright, so the only 4 of Mystic Knight Fire Attribute spell we are playing Select Your Sin. Just allows you to counter Gate 2 Gauge, and then if you have 3 or more fire attributes in your drop zone with different names, you can choose a fire attribute spell among them, add it to your hand, except itself. And it's a hard once per turn. But again, counter is going to be like the big portion of this deck profile, so you're going to notice a lot of counter skills. Alright. Next, we are playing 3 Droplets of Temptation. Again, same thing earlier. Being able to search a sync by paying 1 gauge on the life. This is why we're running such a low sync count, because you can obviously just draw into this or sync, then you're still good to go. We are playing 3 Lunatic Circus. This is one of the newer spells. So you pay life, you either get to counter call a Mystic Knight from your drop zone by paying a skull cost, or you get to add 2 from your drop zone to your hand with different names and onto your hand. So just a generic fetcher, it's really good, especially if you counter call Asagi or just add Asagi doing back to your hand during your turn. Looping is fun. Then we are playing my favorite Mystic Knight spell, Wings of Revolt. Essentially it says with 1 sync, it says give 9k to whatever you want, draw a card, and then obviously you can do this, it's a once per turn, hard once per turn, but you can do this during your player's turn. So you proc your sync skills during either player's turn. Next, we are playing 2 Flame of Memories. We're only playing 2 of this. I didn't want to like hard draw this because it is a hard once per turn, and you have to discard a Mystic Knight from your hand as cost. With your earlier builds, you were playing a lot of Mystic Knight names. With the new build, you're only playing 17 monsters, one of them being Rebi. So you really don't have to discard the cost because you need them for your combo. So you're only playing this at 2. And it works out really it is. Then we are playing 2 of the new Mystic Knight draw spell. If you have a Mystic Knight monster on your field, or 2 of them, and then you're equipped with an item, you get to charge 2, gain 2 life, draw 2 cards. Obviously, it's a hard once per turn, but giving Mystic Knights another draw card is really, really good, because it fuels your drop zone for your skills. Then we are playing 2 of our Pseudo Impact. So what this state is, pay 1 gauge and pay 1 life. You get to stand all Mystic Knights on your field, and then if you do, they can attack during final phase. So this is just the Roselia impact, just being able to restand all your stuff during final phase. So even if you get like rested your stuff during battle phase, you just go into final phase and restand everything as long as they're not under the prevention of stand stuff like Zodiac. Besides that, it's good the way it is, and I wouldn't ever bump it up past 2. We are playing 2 Gate of Transmigration. This is just like Revolution of Red. You pay 5 gauge, but its cost is reduced for every 5 attribute spell in your drop zone. At counter, you can either bounce a card back up to their hand, or you can rest up to 2 cards in opponent's field, which is mostly why you play this card. Because if you have 5 attributes in your drop zone, this turns into a free rest 2 cards. Yeah, that's a nice flag you got there. Be darn shame if I were to rest it. So it works out really well for me. Alright, that winds up our fire attribute spells. Now we just run up our generic magic roll package. 2 nice one. Pot of Greed's really good. 2 Sephiroth's Lectures, because gauging is still really, really nice in this deck. Plus, again, adding 1 to hand is really good. We are still playing 2 Great Circle of Deity Dragon. This card has always been my favorite, because the deck has a lot of draw power. So even if you don't draw into your Lost World like you normally would be doing, you can just obviously add your counters back from your graveyard to your hand that you don't have, so that way you can use them during your opponent's turn and you keep comboing off, so that way you eventually draw into it. 2 Holy Magics. It's Magic World. It's Holy Magic. You need to be playing it. And then the 1 copy of Terra Oracle. Again, just more resting things. We're in a rest-heavy format. If you don't have any kind of rest protection, this card hurts. Especially against Time Dragons. Hooray. We are playing 2 Guitar. I would try to bump this up to 3, but I don't necessarily have the room. Plus, you can always search this off your item. And if you're less than 3, you don't have to worry about gauging it so much. But the big reason why we play this card now is it gives Soul Guard to the item. So even if it's returned to the deck by your Time Dragon matchup, it still remains on field because of Soul Guard. The big thing is it reduces the call cost of your Mystic Knights by 1. So your Soggy, your Counter Call Sync, and your other 2 Syncs that cost 2 gauge now only cost 1, which saves you 1 gauge, which then you can use on better spells and better things. That's why we're playing the Burn over EB, because we'll have so much more gauge now due to this spell, or this item, and it's really good. And lastly, to wrap up the main deck, we are playing 2 Lost World. This build is very meta competitive. And I really like it, and I will keep playing Lost World in this deck until the Wizard Apprentice sync. Then this whole deck is going to change into a more control variant, which means we don't really need Lost World anymore. But for the time being, Lost World does its job as it is. Alright, so that wraps up the main deck. And I like it. I wouldn't really change anything until we get the new stuff, which works out really well for me. But we'll go ahead and do side deck first before jumping into Lost World. Alright, so we are playing as a sideboard 2 Bird Magics. Again, the restanding a monster effect is really good, especially if you have your sync with double attack, especially if it's not under the hard restanding effect. Plus, if worst case scenario, Being able to reduce by 3k, 3k on one crit is really good. Unless you're against Demon Dragons and one crit doesn't really matter. But it works out. 3 Loyalty. This card is even more prevalent in today's metagame. I hate combo decks. And this stops Dimension Dragons pretty much single-handedly. Enough said. 2 Spell Nulls because Magic World. Now it's even better because now we have the excessive gauge to do in Magic World because of the new item. So, 2. 1 more Terrorical again, resting. Too good. And then we are playing 2 Happy Times. Preventing your stuff from resting is really, really good. It does not prevent the restanding effect if you have something like that. But being able to stop yourself from being arrested, like Phantom Draco Thieves and stuff like that, or Time Dragons, this card does wonders. Obviously, having access to Grace of the Sun Deity is also really good, but I'm going to play this in the time being. Alright, that's 10 cards in the sideboard. Now we are going to wrap up with our extra deck, with the Lost World. We are playing the Vanity package of 4 Trial Deck Vanities. Obviously, these would be the originals if I had them, but unfortunately I don't, so I gotta work with what I got. So this works just as well. Then we got 3 Apocs. Just placing stuff in drop is fun. And then 2 Skull. Obviously this would be the other Skull that puts your entire deck into its soul. But it works out just as well. And I like it. 5 crit is really, really nice. We are playing 2 Marin Cascard. Godpunk, the monster. It's just drop hand card. Whenever it attacks is just really good. So whenever you just 2 free discards is really good. 1 ability nullifier if for some reason one of your opponent's stuff their abilities can't be nullified. Being able to negate its skills and blow it up is pretty fun. Obviously this is gonna get replaced when all the new Lost World stuff comes out. Triple attack, draw 3 cards. Enough said. To support our package, we are playing 3-Dimension Wave. This allows you to blow up your sinks with Soul Guard, especially when you go to Lost World. So being able to draw a card, gain life, and placing your additional magic spells in your drop is really good too. 3 from the Invasion of Vile and Deep. One of the better cards in Lost World, just being able to, as long as you have 8 Lost Vader item, monster, whatever, just being able to search the top 4, add 2 to hand, and 2 to gauge is just really strong. 3 Distortion Wall. This is in case you get stacked by heavy damage that you know that's going to be like penetrating, like Phantom Draco Thieves and stuff like that. So this stops you from being OTK'd unless you're getting Giga Howling Crushed. Feels bad. 2 Dimension Breeding. Just if you have 2 Lost Vaders, draw or gain 2 life and draw 2 cards. More filter for the deck. 1 Dimension Draw, because that's all I have. Enough said. Dimension Livestream, this is against decks that just excel in massive life. It works out enough for what it's worth. 2 No Counter Calling the Wall. So this is really good in the matchup, in the mirror match, when your opponent tries to counter call your sinks, and then you're like, nope. Also, pretty much single-handedly the reason why ECs aren't doing anything. And then, finally, to finish out our deck profile, we got 2 Vanity Blazer Zeros. If you got 2 Lost Vaders, who doesn't like to pay 3 gauge and kill your opponent? Enough said. Alright guys, this has been my Mystic Knight updated deck profile. If you guys want to know about my deck profiles and what you guys think I should do for the new list, send me your list in the comments below. Or hit us up on our Discord. Or better, just do our Patreon. like the bell, stuff like that. You know all our social media. And above all else, catch you guys later.